Hi and welcome to Anovich Tarot. I have not been posting for about a month or maybe a little more than a month now. I feel like I have just gone through a spiritual awakening. Probably I still am in that, but like the more difficult, the painful phase is now over. I have no mentor and I am completely relying on my connection with the divine and my intuition to guide me all the way. So everything that I am doing is trial and error, and so I am literally learning through my own life experience, and it's not coming from the outside to me at this time. Since I've been talking about the new earth and the shift into the new earth, this was a very important shift that I have just been through. So I have no plan for how this video is gonna go. I don't really know. I've been trying to plan this for quite some time now, but it doesn't seem to be working. Doing a card reading is easy, but talking about my life experience, and especially when I've been tracking them almost on a day-to-day basis, is really difficult, embarrassing, the least to say. I have my notes here which I'm going to be reading from, and this phase, it started much before the 2nd of April, but I really started making notes from this, intentionally making notes from the 2nd of April. The reason I needed to write this down on a day-to-day basis is because I was receiving insights and messages literally one day at a time, and for the space that I was put in or I was in at that time, it was like impossible to look at the bigger picture. It was impossible to understand, like it was impossible for me to be grateful for these experiences because I never really understood. It was a little before Easter when the energy really started to tighten. So I have been going through this for quite some time, probably from the start of this year, but from a little before Easter. So a little before, a little, probably during the mid of March or early March is when this feeling, the intensity of where I was and what I was going through started, getting a bit more intense. I have notes from the 2nd of April until the 2nd of May, so that's 1 month. I was sitting in this void space where nothing was really happening, nothing was moving, and there was a whole lot of fear and frustration building up at this time. Like I was literally pushed into a corner facing the wall, and I was supposed to be there until I was comfortable with being in that space. And during that time there was a lot of addressing of emotions that I had to do, and I had to go through. It's not that I haven't done it before, but and I felt like I had, completed a lot of healing up until that time. But during that time, it was like different. It was like an out of body experience that I was going through. It literally felt out of body. This experience, literally this time, literally made me think about what I'm doing and how I'm contributing to everything happening in my life, because no matter what information came through, I still wasn't taking action. I still couldn't take action. I had no energy, I had no motivation, because there were thoughts, but none of them were actually making sense. And even though they were thoughts, it was kind of like I was in a blank state. I don't know how to explain this, but they were thoughts, but I was still blank. That was the feeling. So when I had emotions well up, I was literally questioning what I was feeling and why I was feeling, and because, so suppose if I was feeling sadness and I asked myself why am I feeling sadness, and then the answer would come to me as to why I'm feeling sadness, because nothing has worked out yet, because I'm not there yet, because I still need to work on something, because I still need to take action, because I still need to do this, and because of that explanation, I it's not that I couldn't feel the emotion of sadness. I did still feel the emotion of sadness, but and it's not like I couldn't sit, because I was still sitting in the emotion of sadness, but there was an understanding for the emotion. Like, I really cannot tell you, this was such an, it was literally an out of body, like I wasn't me for this time, like from March, and we are now, I'm doing this recording on the 2nd of June. So from the month of March to the month of June, like to the month of May, I wasn't me. Like, I was physically here, but my spirit or my energy, like it was in a different space, in a different dimension, in a different area. And so, this was happening with all of the emotions. This process led to so many areas that were getting addressed in my life at the same time. Everything was happening at the same time. I was struggling with my relationship, which finally landed in a breakup. I was struggling with getting content out for my channel. I was struggling with finding a different career path for myself, something that really aligned with who I am and aligned with my soul. And all of these things and all of these emotions and and the fears and the frustration, the sadness, the anger, everything came, was rushing in together at the same time, and I was being put in a space where I needed to address them all at the same time. It felt like a lifetime of karma had been just dumped on me during this time. And like, even if I wanted to take action, I couldn't. Like, I literally couldn't. The mental energy and the capacity needed to see and understand and put into action or apply um, myself was really exhausting. Like, I literally had no, I didn't even have the energy to consider somebody else's feelings. Now, that is a very selfish thing, to say or be, but because of which I needed to isolate myself from, like, literally from the outside world, from the people in my house. I needed to cut back, and like, it was literally like I just got pushed into that corner. Even if I was surrounded by people, I wasn't really there. I knew I needed to be alone. I was also craving company at the same time. Like, I was so alone, and I was feeling so much. And I, like, I really wanted to speak about it, like, just to get it off my chest, but I couldn't do that. Because first of all, there was no one around me that I could really talk about. And the second thing is, I myself wasn't understanding what was happening. I just had feelings, I had no explanation to these feelings. And third, my energy was so exhausted, like mentally I was so exhausted from all of these. Like, I couldn't be around another energy. I couldn't be around another person, even if I wanted to. Um, so I really needed to sit back and recheck my priorities at this time. And I was thinking, like, I really want, and I would scroll my phone contacts up and down, to see if there's anybody that I could talk to. I'd scroll my WhatsApp contacts to see if I scroll Instagram and to see if there's anybody that I could talk to that could relate to me, that could, you know, help have a discussion around, so help me understand, or at least in speaking I would, gain clarity on what is happening. But like there was literally nothing, and I had to refocus my priority to have the courage to push through this phase and see what was coming for me on the other side. During this phase, there was many times that I wanted to, like, I was really doubting this journey, whether I wanted to continue or go back to mainstream and be like, focus on uh, family and career, and but that life didn't does not align with my soul. It does not align with who I am, and I cannot find the words right now. Like I needed to reiterate what I wanted from my life, or the kind of life that I am trying to manifest. And one thing that kept me going in this time is there was this constant feeling um, that something is happening, something is about to happen, and that was something that kept me going. There was also this constant feeling that there is something right in front of me that I am not seeing, or there's something that I need to know, but I'm not understanding, and it's right in front of me. And that is something that really drove me into succumbing to the energy that was pushing me, driving me into this, secluded place, because I knew I needed to go there to find the answers to whatever it was that I was searching for. So up until the month of March, early April, I was watching a lot of tarot videos on YouTube. I was trying to do a lot of readings for myself. um, I, I couldn't understand the readings. It's not that I couldn't understand the readings. The cards were amazing. The readings were amazing. Okay, like they were all kept confirming the same thing. Something's coming, something's happening, and I could feel it in me also. But the physical reality was not there, and what I and coupled with what I was feeling on the inside, like it just didn't align. I couldn't make sense of any of it. And during this time in my corner, I was using a lot of, it really helped me align my thoughts, like really look at them one thought at a time, pick them out one thought at a time. And I'm sure anybody with ADHD would know where I'm coming from. And this process of mine, coupled with my isolation, uh, from the outside looked like as if I was wasting away. But on the inside, I was really learning patience. I was really understanding how to listen to my intuition and how to hold on to that faith and see what was being shown to me by the universe, rather than rushing through my life because of fear. I was breaking and being put back, breaking and being put back, and it was happening every day during this time. Don't mean to trigger anyone, but I really did also have suicidal thoughts at this time. But thankfully, I have a very strong mind, and I didn't give in to any of those thoughts. So I'm gonna read my diary to give you first-hand feel on what I was feeling. I've skipped dates in between because I noticed that the messages there were on a different topic and it would get too mingled with this. And this video is just about how I was feeling in how it feels during the void. Like this out of body experience was so real. Literally felt like I was not here. My body was here, but my mind was not. I felt like a 3D image inside a video game. I felt like I felt like I was glitching. I was half here and half, I don't know where, like lost, somewhere lost in the void, in the darkness. So, up until this time, I'm meditating on a daily basis, even though I'm feeling all of these things and I'm going through all of these things. And then slowly, my meditations started to get blank. Like, I would literally sit there and nothing. I couldn't align my chakras, or I couldn't clean my chakras anymore. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't imagine anything. I couldn't do any of those things. On the 2nd of April, I write, the meditations have gone blank now. I feel like I'm not connecting anymore. I don't know right and wrong anymore. I have allowed myself to become stagnant, not on purpose, but it gradually happened. I keep getting the message of addiction and non action. The body and mind are in two different places right now. Anything that I know I need to do is become a struggle. Feels like depression, but it's not. It's being stuck because there is no inspiration. There's fear and anxiety about having to go back to what was. I expected my life to change in a way I could earn from my spirituality, but it hasn't happened yet, and it doesn't seem like it will happen. From where I am right now, I don't know where to look for help and for who to look for help from. On the 8th, I write, extremely depressed today. The energy feels painful to me, like a hole in my chest. I keep going through people in my life right now, the people I know, but I can't find anyone I can talk to right now. So much I want to say about how I feel on the inside. I want to break down and cry. It feels I am the only one fighting to be human, but I also don't like this human form. It's too painful. People are too asleep, too careless. No one has time and no one cares. Okay, so in my sadness, I tend to get a little poetic. So, tears stream down my face. This diary is my only solace. So, in here, I let my words flow, and one day when this will all be over, I'll read my story and know this is where I came from, and this is the pain from which I have grown. The pain is crippling, almost suicidal, but I have to stay strong. I have to fight this. No amount of herbs can numb the feeling. But I must not react, just allow the healing. Fear takes over me and I can't see where I'm going. Please help me, Lord. Give my life meaning. The next note is on the 12th of April. Yesterday's meditation, I saw a funnel type of, a whirlpool type of energy going through my spine top to bottom. I didn't know what it was. I don't remember today's meditation. Today I just called in all levels of protection for my energy. Too much chatter in my mind. The frustration starts to build. All day I'm reminding myself to stay calm and have faith. Come to the now and be present and enjoy it. So, whenever the sadness and all these negative energies were creeping up, I would notice how I was spiraling, and I would constantly remind myself to come back and be present in the now and just enjoy the moment. And then 10 minutes later, I slip again. The fight is real, the struggle is real. The dance between both worlds, human and spirit, is real. So at this point, the concept of dancing between worlds, the concept of being spirit in a human body, or the understanding of that became so real I not just understood it, I had to live it also. I had to put that information into my practical life. I had to hold on to that realization that these negative feelings are the human aspect and I'm actually the spirit, and as a spirit I need to understand these emotions are coming up to be addressed and be released, and I needed to see them come up and release them. And though that is such a simple way to say it, what I was going through in this time was tremendous. My heart is so stubborn. Sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's bad. Uh, it's good because I'm relentlessly holding on to my faith that I'm gonna make it onto the other side. And again, it's a bad thing because what if my stubbornness is not allowing me to see what I need to see or do what I should be doing right now? What if I'm having intuition but not taking action? There's so much of doubt happening. And this is a question I would ask myself every day, like, what if it is right in front and I'm not taking action? Because I knew I should be acting. I should be acting on these thoughts that are coming. I should be forcing myself to make videos. I should be forcing myself to work out. I should be forcing myself to go to work. I should be forcing myself to get out of the house and go meet people. And I should be doing all of those things, but I wasn't feeling it. And I was really, really trying to understand and listen to my intuition if it was asking me to do it. And like intuitively I felt like it was on the right time, but the human mind is so always in the mode of action, do, that I needed to understand that this is the human concept of always being active and taking control of your own life. But if I was looking for guidance from higher source, I needed to listen to my intuition, and I needed to feel into my intuition. So if I got a thought and I said, like, maybe I should push myself to go out, in my body it didn't feel right, and if it didn't feel right, I didn't do it. So that's how I was trying to build this intuition, build the relationship with my intuition. So around the 22nd of April is when this energy started getting a little more clear. Not that I was, back with my energy or no, but like in my mind, I started getting a little more clear about what was happening. Up until then, it was just fighting frustration and struggling to survive, like literally pushing myself one day at a time to wake up and be alive one day at a time. And so on the 22nd is when there was a little opening in the energy where it they I started to get real understanding of, or clarity on what was really happening with me at this time. So my notes on the 22nd, I don't know if I have written this before, but the energy has been feeling sort of on the fence, the in between, like feeling sadness but knowing I don't need to be sad, feeling depression but knowing I don't need to be depressed, feeling fear but knowing I don't need to be have fear, feeling frustrated but knowing I don't need to be frustrated. Like I was on the fence at that time. Like everything is and is not. By now I'm starting to get what is really happening. Like everything is and is not at the same time, and there is nothing to do but to notice it. I should take action, but I'm not taking action. I know I should not take action, but I'm not sure. I have some confirmation, but other than that, nothing. So I've been getting synchronicities and, um, tarot messages and things like that. So to confirm that I am on the right path. This was another thing. No matter how much I wanted to give up, I constantly kept getting confirmations that never allowed me to give up. It always gave me hope for the next day, the next step, to keep going. It was always there. I feel frustrated, but I know I shouldn't. At the same time, I trust everything is going to work out. This stage or this energy has been there for 3 months now. The meditations are just normal protection and grounding, opening front and back heart chakra. I needed to open my heart space, for everything that was happening, for all of the feelings that I was feeling, because at one point I felt like, for quite some time, I felt like emotions would well up to my chest and then they would subside, they wouldn't come out, and that was even more frustrating than crying. Like, I really knew that if I cried I would feel a little better, but I couldn't cry, they would just well up. So I needed to do a meditation. I knew I needed to work on my heart space. So on the 26th of April is the last bit of seeing in between, is what I have written as a notes over here. And on the 26th, I write, my brain is constantly focused on finding what I don't know. But I know I'm meant to find, know, see, uncover something. It consumes all my energy trying to focus. Also, we know that so much is happening cosmically too. It's hard to settle in any one energy. The energy of duality is so weird. It's like you literally see the is and is not in everything. It feels like looking through the veil. My brain is falling apart, but still being held by the same knowledge that's breaking it, if that makes sense. It is such a fine line. And then by the 2nd of May, I started to understand that what had been happening with me for so long was me being in the void. So on the 2nd of May, I'm writing. This duality or unity, I don't exactly know, but it is energetically and mentally exhausting. Yes, this is the temperance energy. There was this feeling of release, all of a sudden, when I started to see that I have been in the void and I have just come out of the void. I started, I could feel the energy kind of clearing up. So, yeah, that is my experience of what it feels like to be in the void. And I hope this helps anybody that is going through the same feelings. Like, the reason I wanted to put this out is because it is really real. I really don't know why I wanted to put this out, but I felt like I needed to talk about this in between time that I spent here, and what it was feeling like physically, mentally, what it looked like for me, what it looked like for the people looking at me from the outside. Um, so I hope this helps. I hope it resonates with anybody that made it this far in the video. The next part of my journey that I will be talking about is the synchronicities that I experienced during this time too, that actually got me through this phase of mine. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that video. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Love and light. Bye.